Welcome everybody to another episode of the Singles Ministry. We're here and we are expecting to have an even greater time than last week and the week before because we have a young man in the studio tonight. And you know what? I'm not even going to introduce him. He's going to introduce himself because we're going to have an awesome time, going through his profile tonight. And we say good evening to André Warner.
Good evening, everyone. So, yeah, here. Thanks for having me, Steve. As Steve said, I need no introduction. If you know me, you know me. If you haven't known me, you're gonna hear of me. If you haven't heard of me, you already heard of me already. So yeah, I am. Let me see. What's my introduction? Yes, I'm 26. I live in Antigua. I am currently alive and well, and also currently very handsome, as I have been for many years, as far as I can remember. I am also a very well known male. I am inside the Wesleyan Church. I am also the current record holder of being the most successful guy at being me. So I think I've done very well at that as well. So, right back to you, Steve.
Wow. So you've been the most successful at being you. Okay, great. Because could you just tell us a little bit more of what you do? We understand that you are inside the Wesleyan Holiness Church. Um, you're 26, and obviously you're single. So tell us a little bit more about you, like what you do, and yes, you're currently in a relationship. How long have you been in that relationship?
All right. So currently, I am working at Community First Credit Union. I am a member service rep in the new accounts. I make accounts to individuals. I'm basically the first person you meet once you want to join us. Uh, I'm also a current upstarting, just starting as a agricultural enthusiast with poultry. And yes, I am also, as Steve has mentioned, in relationship. I have been in there for just about 5 years, given this month now. Yes, of 5 years. Uh, Ups and downs and in betweens. Overall, it's been pretty great so far. I also do have some hobbies in reading. I have been a writer in the past. I've done some award really winning written statements, done some plays, poetry, and short stories as well.
Well, no doubt, Andrew, you sound like a very vocal, very outspoken kind of individual who would do well on any um, public platform. So, um, how has it been for you as a single person and being in the? Yeah, I really believe that you've been in the public's eye. So how has that been working for you?
It has been working, I would say, fairly well in certain senses. I can say there's a lot of fun to be had being single. Wait, let me pause that. Let me rewrite that one there. Yeah,
It's been fun.
Steve. Let me put it this way, right? It's nice. It's not something that I would say I spread away from. I'm not scared like the dreaded person who's hiding behind your blankets. Oh gosh, I'm single. I'm not married yet. I'm gonna die. No, 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 no. It's all right. Singleness not gonna devolve me and destroy me. Of course, I have my urge as well for marriage as well, but I'm not afraid or ashamed of my singleness where I'm right now. Uh in this way, I would say being single actually kind of works for me as well. As much as I can see marriage will complement into my life, I can see that okay, being single at where I am was, I would say, necessary for certain aspects of my life, where I'd have more time to dedicate to the things that I've done, whether it's inside ministry or just personal growth as well. I think it's only fair to say I have not myself been a perfect person, so I would say not being married right now or where I was before was pretty great because I wouldn't want to put my past self on someone else. And that's something I would fairly say. I wouldn't want to just I wouldn't say, oh, I wish I was a single, I wish I wasn't married already. Nah, I'd rather, I'd love to see how much more I've grown as well. But interacting with others, I would say it's been easier. It's I haven't really had much, like, of course, you have every other church sister asking when you're getting married or this or that. And then you have, your brotherhood, your groups. And so when you have the one sellout who gets married and then has a baby less than a year, talking about you, Webster, if you can hear me right now, and then have the whole church looking left at me after you just gone, just perhaps met her in February, getting married next year, and then just start off like, and you just throw that on me. Like you just throw that on all the men in the church and leave. I'm throwing shade,
Yeah,
Steve. Yeah.
you're throwing McCoy under the bus.
Yes, I am. He just messed up for the rest of us. But yeah, I would say my best experience was when I was invited as a single male to speak to young people, young men especially, and I found that at the end of the survey, at the end of it, I was actually called out and I was actually asked, like, I was propositioned basically. They just asked me, "Hey, you have anybody right now?" Because we have some single young ladies look just they were offering their
You're kidding.
they took
You're
they took
kidding.
me to the
You're
Steve, they
kidding.
took me to the garden and started showing me the flowers. I'm just saying, sorry, I have some flowers at home already, but I
Oh
appreciate the
wow.
offer. Your flowers are all lovely. Yeah, I
Wow.
was put. Yeah, asked, was I spoken for? Well, I had to speak up for who's speaking for me right now. But yeah, that's how it is, man.
Wow. So you mentioned something earlier that you wouldn't want to throw your older self on somebody. List at least three things that you realized from your past that you would have grown from. Just highlight three of the most important or anything that can come to your mind.
That I wouldn't want to put on someone.
Yes, from your past.
Okay.
From your
One was I have in the past been a very I would I was selfish. That's about it. I was selfish, and if I wanted things for me, yeah, it was that way. And it was like I had a very, I would say I was narrow-minded in certain senses. Like I was selfish in terms of my desires, what I wanted, and not budging on certain things. So like if I had a box here, I wanted to fit in. Hey, I wanted to be, the guy, white picket fence. I want to have 6.7 children, and I want to do X,
mm,
Y, and Z. Like you better fit that mold, dog. Yeah. So that's one
wow.
selfish. Uh Two, I would say it's that I was slow when it came to certain aspects of responsibility. Like I was more slow in terms like, okay, this needs to be happening or this needs to be done. Decision needs to be made like right now. I was more slow and I would actually kind of put things off to another day. And I was experiencing like the snowball effect where you roll down one ball and then after it just builds up and builds up on you. And I recognize I would have that happen in my life. So it's something I'm happy I broke away from as well. Not leaving things for another day, but taking them as they come. And the third thing would be I like the way I was just younger back then, and I like the way I've grown now. I like the more experiences I had. I wasn't as experienced in certain things as I'd like to be. To be honest, I wouldn't say I've built a very sheltered life, but I haven't been in these streets as some people would say. There's
Mm,
some experiences, some things I'd like to have on my mind, some things I'd like to know, okay, how to best deal with certain situations. Like I can remember most people, you would say, people behave a certain way or they have certain ways. I was sometimes like a bit innocent to that. So the first time someone like, I was shocked to the
mm,
part at 15, you lied to me. People don't know
mm.
people lie since long time, and I was shocked to know part of these things in my years. In some things, I'd rather get through. I'd rather get to my first scam, like when a man scammed me for a car. I would hate to have done that with my wife. Like, oh, now me and babe walking down the road. I'd like to get all some of those experiences, some of those feelings out the way. So also being inexperienced as well. So those are three things I think that will come to me off the bat.
Awesome. Because the women of today they like men who who can stand firm, who know what they want, who know where they're going already, rather than men who are just figuring it out. They they would have already said that they don't want to babysit anyone. So those are three really interesting points that you just hit. Being lackadaisical and putting off things for another day. These are things that the women are saying that they don't want to deal with. So you not bringing that into a relationship gives you a plus for your lady.
Yep.
So wow. So in terms of being a leader in the church, okay, you said you spoke at the singles service, and immediately after, everybody thought, hey, brother Andre, he's so powerful. He has all of these thoughts and all of these he's able to minister to us in such a way. But if we can get him to connect with an Eve, that would have been awesome. So they pointed some Eves to you. Now, you already had your Eve in your garden, and these other Eves probably opened their eyes to the Adam they're seeing in you. How has that been working out? Not only in that environment, but in other environments where other young ladies would probably attack you. Let's use that word for lack of a better word.
Attack is a very powerful word, Steve. You're making me feel like I'm John Claude Van Damme. Okay. But yeah. There's a lot of times I can remember. I think my favorite one, a quote I remember up to this day, is that a girl told me that she'll fill my quiver. Like the Bible says, yeah, how many I want, I can get them. She'll fill my
But
quiver.
wow.
Yeah. That was fun. And then also the unbiblical ones as well. I think I've shared inside the group where I've had some where I've met, and then of course there were disappointments. For example, I think the one I shared, my biggest disappointment was her, a lovely young lady. I think it was before I even met my current relationship now. She was lovely, everything, but then afterwards I started seeing her social media activity and just basically the what this she's posted. I just same day. It was like a same day letdown. It was just disappointments.
Mm.
I've had them at work. Um, I'm telling you that young women see you at work and they do express some interest as well. I would say that the range that usually hits to me the most, or the range I seem to have very effective on, is actually a bit, well, I would say younger than me, but between the ages of like, I've had experience with girls, I can see that I'm having an effect on them. I would say from the range of probably around 19 to probably 24 or so, in between that range. I
Wow.
try my best to curtail interactions with them in certain ways. I'm told I have a very, well, it's the attitude I have, and
You
I'm
have
not necessarily, you've
Riz.
experienced me. Mhm.
Riz. That's what they
That
call it. But you're
I'm not
young. You're supposed to know this. You're supposed to know it's called
experienced.
Riz.
I can, let me tell you, right? When it comes down to some of them, I can just, if you have that energy, I will meet you where you're at. I'm not going to necessarily back down from attitude. I'm going to meet it at the same level. I remember even when I was at where I was working at, this time I worked with a young lady, they put me to train her. And inside around, she was with me for 1 week, like so 1 week. On the fourth or fifth day or so, we had someone in. I was having a back and forth with her, like I was meeting the same energy. She walked out the room and then the guy asked me, so that's a work wife. I said, what?
What?
What are these people seeing that I am not seeing? I I don't know. So that's another thing I try to curtail. I don't know how it is sometimes I interact with people, but I seem to give off the air of, okay, hey, I don't know, I just have it. I think it's because of the way the concept I see women as. Most guys, when they approach women, they see them for, I would say, sex and wanting their bodies. I don't want none of that. I would, but not from you. So when you remove the concept of sex from the equation, it's just a person who you can talk to, have fun, and interact with, and just, yeah, be general with. And I think when you look at it from that angle, women are very easy to deal with, and that's my experience. That's even in a relationship, women are easy to deal with, they're easy to talk to, easy to interact with. There are things you can say, things you can do, because you're not looking to get laid. Just be normal, be regular. They're just people.
And as a Christian, starting a relationship has nothing to do with sex. As a Christian, and I saw a quote today. I think I posted it in the WhatsApp group, and it says, "Imagine finding a friend, a business partner, and a spouse all in one. Your best friend, your business partner, and your spouse all in one. Trust me, I don't think a man needs anything else in a woman if he had all that in one person. But your story is interesting. You gotta have a whole. I think you should be knighted next time around. You need to have a space somewhere when we're having Heroes Day, because your story is different, because you're telling me you have an impact on young ladies. That's what you're saying. You have an impact on them. Wow. But we're gonna need to understand something though. You're holding strong to the point that sex is not what you're looking for, and that is awesome, because men are usually very weak when it comes to women being around them, and especially if the women are, let's use a word here, seductive. Because there are women who they're just naturally, giving off that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So men know we tend to always gravitate to that kind of vibe. And so um if we if we follow our flesh, we get to where we're not supposed to be. Now, saying all of that to say, you you said that you were never for that. How do you find that your peer, like other guys, dealing with you when you they hear that, hey, you know what, I'm not into that? Because you mentioned something about the young lady that you were working with. I posted it as a comment in the comment section. Your work wife. How like what was the response like when you were like, hey bro, no, I'm not into that. I'm not into, it's just work vibes.
Yeah, he was like, no, no, don't mean no offense or anything like that. But he was a pretty cool guy. I guess it's the way he saw the interaction happening. But to put to the point, right? The reason I think everyone has so many problems right now is because you're putting the cat before the horse or the sex before the relationship. I have something that I think a lot, and I think a lot of people are giving undue attention just because of sex. A lot of very attractive, I would say, women and or men, they have very terrible personalities, and it's not being corrected because people want to have sex with you. Some people are just not that interesting, but you have a big butt, or your bossy, you have the airbags on you. You're not that interesting, and I find that um, I don't. When I see that happen, I don't gravitate to you because you have basically nothing to offer me. You don't really have much of a personality. your attitude sucks, and you're just a person. You look attractive, sure. It's like it's like seeing a cheesecake, but instead of sugar they put salt in it. It
Uh,
looks good, but it's full of salt. It makes no sense. Same thing with men. They talk to women any kind of way. They treat them, however, just because they have abs and they're big. The women run after them. I'm like, ma'am, this man is full of nonsense. You should know better. So once you remove sex from the equation, I think that's what's the most important. Also, because people get wrong perceptions. Like the woman I've interacted with, because I'm not sexually invested or looking at them in that kind of way, they view it as a difference or dislike. I don't dislike you because I don't want to sleep with you. I'm not indifferent to you, but that's just the language they were raised to understand. Like, okay, every man that you know has sexual interest in you. And if I'm not looking at your body, if I'm not constantly around you, jumping to your whims and your knees, but if I have casual conversations, if I'm holding you accountable, if I'm doing any of these things, I just like you. No, I'm treating you like a person. Same thing with some men. They can't take criticism from women because every other woman wants to sleep with them, and they just assume that everyone around you should acquiesce to your will just because you have this sort of air about you, which is why I say I don't want that kind of relationship with you. There's nothing if you have nothing to offer me, then what is there to do with you?
so you're basically saying that some morals are outside. Morals have jumped out the window.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
I, yeah, there's some dudes I know. I
Oh,
remember a guy I used to work with. This man was what we call a classical sinner. He didn't care. A sister inside my church, I won't call her name, but he knew her. He went overseas for a while. He came back, and he came to our church just because he was trying to see her, and he was about that life. He never came back after that. I never knew this man owned a dress shirt a day in my life, and this man came
wow.
in church for like 30 minutes, scoped the scene and left. Never came back.
Wow.
That's where the morals are right now. That's what they're coming for.
Because I'm saying if young ladies are really hitting you hard because you're refusing to have sex with them, there is a problem. And then we are talking about we're talking about Christians here. And it's I've interviewed many other singles, and one of the questions I ask as a leader, what is it like when you're being, you said attack sounds like a very powerful word. So let's try to use a more um, a less harsh word. When you're being pursued by these females inside the church who think that, hey, he is he's the youth president, or he's a preacher in the church, or he's a drummer, because the musicians are being targeted in the church, right? And other people in the church with high positions are being targeted. I'm talking about male, targeted by females inside the church. And it was a thing when we were growing up. Girls would come to the church because they were boys, and boys would come to the church because they were girls. So
Mm-hmm.
in your position, what is it like having the female attraction, and you already have the risk because you said um, you have impact on them.
Okay, so in my situation, given where I'm at right now inside my church, I don't experience it much or really at all. Because what happens is that for the majority of females there, I've grown up basically among them. We have all grown together, and there hasn't been much influx of younger women, in a sense, who would know me past my attitude. So basically, the way I act, the way I interact with you, you already know me for such extended period of time. You know that it's not anything I'm really interested in. If anything, it's more me going out of my way directly to harass you, just to see how you're doing. But besides that, I'm not necessarily on that kind of impact. As a leader, though, now I actually have to look at interactions because, as I said, there's some because of the way I wouldn't blame it on how I was sheltered, but there's just some things I haven't really fully gone through yet, but I have gone through, but not to the extent some people have. So in some experiences, some things I don't compute very well inside my brain. Like some things will sound like a great idea, and then I think to myself, ah, that's not a great idea. For example, something, this young lady here inside the church, she's not doing well. Okay, something I should do? I should go drive. I know she loves pizza. Let me go pick her up, get her some pizza, and talk to us about it. And then I sit back inside my brain and think to myself, that is a bad idea. Let's not do that. For perception's sake. Rather find something more appropriate. So I would say, as a leader, I don't really have anyone coming after me inside my own church, really. But as a leader in general, there's certain things that I have to basically protect myself against. There's certain interactions I would love to have, but I'm just unable to. Basically just for perception's sake.
Wow. So that is okay. I can understand where you're coming from because there's not much of that inside the church. But here's what we're gonna do. It's like we're gonna have to have a part two of Andre because we're gonna hit to the comment section. Um, wow,
Oh no.
the comment section is blowing up. It's blowing up. First comment. Let's see. Try to remove sex from the equation. They labeled me as gay. Wow. Oh,
Oh
oh,
yes, I've been waiting on this one. Oh yes.
ah, ah.
Ah, Steve, my brother in Christ, the amount of anti man, the amount of batty boy, you love man. Negro, are you gay? What is wrong with you? You don't like see bottom? Boss, what is up with you? Ah, Steve, I have gone through that throughout the years from, let me see, how far, from secondary, tertiary, workplace after workplace after workplace. Oh, that is like that's
Wow.
one of the parts, Steve. That's a part of it. And something, I take joy in it. You wanna know why? Because you worrying about what another man wants to do or have sex with is the gayest thing I've ever heard of in my life. You stay out my pants.
Very, very,
That's the gayest
very,
thing I've ever
very,
heard.
very. Why are men so concerned about other men's sexuality? Like,
Because they're
ugh,
insecure. Because I don't need to validate
that
myself about
part,
how I feel about having sex
that
by having sex with women. I don't need proof to tell you that I love women. I love women. I just don't need to prove it to you. So that's
wow.
how I'm out here living life right now. I know what they want me to do or want me to say, but that's just how I'm living life. There's nothing I have to prove to
But
you. Like,
let's include Bible here. Do we understand that marriage is for two virgins?
yep.
I really think that that package right there that's put together in the Bible, as you said, it's outside the window. It's
Mm,
nowhere inside the building with us because we need to understand that marriage is supposed to be for two virgins. No experience, neither physical experience nor visual experience. So even pornography is supposed to be a part of our experience when we get married. Wow. Next comment. Do you prefer women to pursue you? These questions
um,
again, these questions again to you, Andre.
to me,
These questions again to you. I'm out of the
okay.
picture. I'm only interviewing you tonight.
It
Unless they have questions for me.
in terms of preference, I'm not gonna lie, something feel good. It's like a hey look, no, I'm on saying I like to see you. I'm like, okay, I know you like to see me. Okay, that's nice. The little, it does a lot for the ego. I would say that it's not, hey, this is what I want way to bake a cake, okay? If she run after me and me run after she, or when she come. And that's the way it is. So I don't mind if a woman had pursued me or if I pursued her. All I care about is the level of pursuit and if it's aggressive or not. But I don't want to give a mixed answer. I personally, given where I was when I started pursuing, I would say that I would rather have done it because if I let her pursue me in a sense, I think I would let myself get led a bit, which I didn't want to go into. So I would rather like take the reins and go with and make the flow go according to my direction in a sense. But I don't
One
mind if a woman
thing,
walks up
one
to me.
one thing I growing up, I've always tried to study study human beings and try to get into relationships and the different aspects of relationships and all of that. And one thing I came up with was the fact that men have a fear of failure. So when it comes to pursuing women, we go with all of our ego and all of our, yet every strongman aspect of our being, approach a girl, and the moment this young lady says no, or just shows us that she's not interested, is the moment that our ego sinks. And so we have
Steve,
a lot of men, we have a lot of men who don't like to approach women because of the fear of failure. And it depends on what kind of woman. Because them alpha females. I'm not gonna call any names of anybody inside the group, but we have a couple of them inside the group who are, who would make men feel as if,
you
hey,
alive.
I'm not one of them men, because trust me, they like to tell me how broad my shoulders are, and I take it, I have affirmed myself with that.
Yeah, but I would say it's also level of rejection because some of these women right now are out of pocket. The least you can do is say have a good day. You're not gonna look up and down and turn left and turn sideways. You're not gonna be saying, "Oh, you have to at least give me a little something." I mean, you can't be just saying, "Ew, what woman? What?" I remember the worst interaction I ever had with a young lady. I'm here working at my job. I used to work at
Uh,
XPZ. That was my first job. I was at XPZ. I was in there packing shelves, minding my own business. She passed across with a group of friends, laughing, and so I'm looking back because I got goods on the shelf to count. She walked legit into my frame of view. Look at me, look back, walk off, and said, "Boy, bye." What woman? When have I spoken
why?
to you?
Why?
Out of
You did
pocket.
something. You did something.
Steve, I was looking
I'm
at
telling you,
milk.
you did.
I was looking at milk and cereal and trying to put
That's the problem.
cornflakes on the
That's the
shelves.
problem. That's the problem. You were looking at milk. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Save some for
Ah,
your anecdotes. I was looking at Ralston cornflakes, raisin bread, 16-ounce boxes that were for 16.75. I remember the details, Steve.
listen. Listen, you did something, and that is why you got the attitude. Boy, bye. And honestly, sometimes the thirst that these young ladies um, carry around, the thirst. It's so amazing because it's like you don't have to overdo. You don't have to overdo at all. You're being seen. Any way you put it, you're being seen. Like these
Mhm.
people are shouting me up. Hello, tonight it's Andre's night, not my night. Everybody hailing me up tonight. So wow. So this question here, it's hard being a celibate man. Woman will label you quickly. Take the floor.
It's easy being a loose woman. Men label you even quicker.
guy. Say that
Sorry,
again.
sorry, sorry. Okay. Let me come back with a more lofty social acceptable response. All right. So it's hard being a celibate man. Yes, it is. As I said, if you have no interest inside what was given to them as the greatest scene, the greatest attraction, I'm not attracted to you, or I don't want to have sex with you. And if everything they had was sex, everything they were about was sexual interaction, that I think that is just a great effect on them. Like, okay, it's almost like an affront, a crime to them. I'm taking with the greatest part of you, ma'am. Nobody wants your cookies. Take them and your milk and head on up out of here. All
You
right.
see,
Now
the
it's
milk story came back again. Milk story
see
came
you,
back again.
see you. But yeah, I would admit it's pretty difficult, and some women even see it as a challenge. Like, I find it that women seem to underestimate, especially me. I found it a lot of cases they underestimate me. Like, okay, they say once you don't show him any sexual attraction, you notice that women, even though they have men around who they find as dogs or people that are interested inside of, they enjoy the pursuit. They always entertain them. They get a little laugh, little shoulder tap, little touch, everything. But then afterwards, yes, I have a car, I have an untouched.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Wherever you're at with that, just stick a pin because there's a question on the screen.
Uh-huh.
And the question says, "Is he a virgin?" Remember, these
Uh-huh.
questions are yours, right?
Let me
These
answer the
questions are
question,
yours.
Steve. Let me have the answer the question,
Hello.
Steve. I currently have
Go ahead.
26 years. I currently have 26 years of unbusted nuts. My penis is still wrapped in the plastic and has a brand new car smell in it. It has not been driven or used once. I have 0% mileage. I come new, top of the line on the market. Yes, I am. I have had zero sex. I have had none of the no pants tango. I have had none of the no pants dance. I have had none of the all clothes off, eyes wide shut, darkness party. I have had none of the experience. Yes, I ain't got none.
Ah, hmm. That answers your question. Your questions, whatever questions you have for Andre tonight, your questions are being answered.
Shamelessly, and I'm glad, I'm proud of it too.
Listen, do you believe a man can be born again?
That's what Jesus said in the
Yes.
Bible. Follow me, I will be born again. That's exactly what he says. That's the whole purpose of the Bible, the Christian faith.
Listen, we have to understand that Christians, we live by Bible, yeah? We live by Bible. Whatever the Bible says, we take it to heart. We believe that it is God's word. God literally sat down next to every man and told them what to write. And so, whatever God said, that's what they wrote. A book written by man, inspired by God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Talk to him, Pastor.
Now, this is not my forum to preach. I'm only stating Bible and facts, not a preaching session right
Okay, so I assume my question,
now.
I answered the question correctly. Okay.
Okay, on to the next one. Wow, the comment section is blowing up. It's crazy. Wow. They can't believe that you're a virgin. I'm telling you, they can't believe that you're a virgin. Somebody's
Okay,
like, no heck, no way, having sex. Wow.
on the next national census, we're going to put a question on the bottom. Have you had sex with Andre, Joshua, Philip, Warner? And you'll see 100% answers say no.
How much name you have, Anna?
How much then what?
How many names? How many names do you have?
4.
Four. Andre Philip Maintenance
Andre
Section Warner.
Joshua Philip Warner. What?
I needed to know. I didn't hear it clearly at first.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah,
so
Andre Joshua
there's a question for me. I feel a little special tonight because you have the floor. It's all yours. We're interviewing you and the people are asking you questions, but there is a question for me. And the question says, Steve, are you single? Next question. Um, should am I answering that question tonight? Let me answer that question tonight. Yes, I am single. I have been single for quite a while. Um, and my singleness is no, you asked me one question if I'm single. Yes, I'm single. And so, wow, the comment section. Wow, we lost Andre. I I am hoping that he gets his connection back and um, rejoins. But wow, the comment section is blowing up because wow, the fact that Andre says that he's a virgin, everybody is going crazy. And I give him all the props. I give him all the, you know, his getting married to whoever his wife will be. She would be the first driver to sit in that driver's seat and buckle up. That is something to think about, guys. Marriage was made for two virgins, two untouched individuals, and even though yes, we would have faltered, um, we could always abstain and make ourselves that person who gets married and is not a highway or don't have so much mileage, because when you buy an old car with high mileage, you got to do a lot of repairs. You got to be changing your oil often. If you think about it, you have to do a complete overhaul. Go down into the engine, and when it comes to relationship, we talking about overhauling your attitude, overhauling a lot of the things that you think about. Um, what? Hmm. Okay. So I was saying before the comment section distracted me. You know, a lot of the guys are asking the women the question, "What's your body count like?" And it seems as if that is something of a concern for men these days. When women's body counts, Andre is back, and we add him back to the studio. Welcome back, brother. Because listen, I could not hold this down alone. Oh wow, his connection issues. Wow, I can't hold this down alone. So I was saying, so the men are complaining about the women with high body counts, and um, sometimes it's just so unfair. because a lot of men have high body counts too. Your back. Listen, I can't hold on this alone because
I
the
just heard
comment
the two
section.
words body count. Let's rock and roll, my brother. What do they want to know?
Yeah,
What do the
no,
people want to know?
I was saying that marriage was made for, because a lot of these comments in the comment section, everybody's like, wow, he's a virgin. So I'm like, having a high body count these days, men that's one of the main questions men are asking women these days. What's your body count like? Because it's a big
Mhm.
deal.
Yeah.
And then even though it's a big deal for the men, it should be a big deal for the women also, because having a man with high mileage, it's just like oil cap. You know, you see how much mileage you put on the Nissan Tida, and the Nissan Tida just end up and fail you because
Let
of
me
the high
tell
mileage.
you. Yeah.
Okay, let's bypass that. But I'm saying the men are like cars. You put high mileage in them, and then they get, so many things go wrong.
Mm.
So the high body count in men takes men to a different place. The mentality, the everything goes wrong. And then the women with high body count are like, them roads that the big truck and them drive
Yo, big
on,
man.
and, and sometimes the big truck and they sink and stick the back wheel and they stick in the road, and they
Okay.
have to get back up to pull them out. And so this is what I'm talking about.
Let me put it in a nice way, Steve. Put it in a nice way. So I found that when it comes to, as you say, body count, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Both should be zero. We all know about women. Of course, physical changes, about the pleasurability of sex, the fact that women, like, my big thing is that people are supposed to do what's called pair bonding. As mammals, as a creature, as a human being, we have something called a pair bond that we do. It's institutionalized, especially by sex, and that's what they call it, consummating the marriage. When you have sex with somebody, especially for the first time, it's a lot of hormones, a lot of things are released, and your body gets used to them. Literally, a woman's downstairs plumbing will actually adjust to what her husband has available to her. It's a physical thing that's why it has been proven. A lot of things about your body, it changes what you're used to. When you sleep next to somebody, the rhythm of their heart, how that affects your peace, what you know, the smell of their sweat, their hormones, and so. Like, you smell some people and they wash their skin, they grate everything, but they smell terrible. There's a reason for that. It's called your immunity genes. Your body can tell you whether or not a person has similar cells to you, which will bring about either better children or less strong children. Your body can tell you that. A lot of things about it in a woman, so that it's better for her to have a significant less partner, so you can better acclimatize yourself to the man. Not only that, it's also mentality, whereas your hormones also work. You're used to every single man just coming and leaving in more ways than one. And that is just throws you out of whack. Same thing with the guys. Let me tell you something, right? A lot of guys, they're messed up because what they did to themselves, especially when they're younger. You spend all the years jerking off, right? You you know what you do? You have your hand full of all those muscles. You squeeze in that bad boy, right, Steve? What that does to you is you get used to that level of squeezing, and you put it on that poor woman's lady parts. Her own don't have 40 pounds per square inch of muscle to crush that thing. I know you can't get no proper pleasure. Or you out here just sleep with so many women that you get too many things at once. Like, you need to have some form of restraint, because as a man, right? We women find it hard to progress sexually, and men find it hard to regress sexually. A woman won't be inclined, okay, you say, baby, let's try this. Or this, like, no, we used to doing this with all this time. Let's put some whips and some chains or something else in there. She's not used to that. Now, as a man, now you hook up with Freaky Felicia on the weekend, and she did all that Mrs. Nasty Officer, all the extra things to you that night. And from that night on, Freaky Felicia done left Antigua. She never coming back. But now you looking for that now. Now you coming with your nice, brand new, precious little wife saying, "You ready, babes? Okay. She asked him, "We do all those handcuffs and all those things." Oh, it's what you used to. So now as a man now, you've done something one time, it screws up your perception going forward. So you shouldn't be if you do this too much, you have too much experience to pleasure yourself. Like you've had too many women. It's like you go to the party and you eat too much food, and it comes to a point. If you eat your favorite food every single day, you'll get tired of it. If you set your favorite song as your alarm tone, you'll get sick of it after 2 weeks. And that's the same thing with women. If you keep just going inside every single place you can get to, you'll never find the peace of dealing with one woman properly. That's what I find personally from what I've seen. Of all the men, of everything, I've seen men that had it great. They had the wife, they had the woman, they had everything. She was what they wanted. And in 4 weeks, they gone to that ghetto girl from somewhere else or the other. They sleep with women that are leagues below their woman just because they're always looking for something new. So if you want to be like in a committed relationship, my goodness, man, stop being Jeffrey Dahmer and stop being the blood countess. Stop collecting bodies. Relax and take your time.
Well, now the comment section is blowing up. Let me address something that I saw in the comment section. Now, we're not saying that sex is bad. Sex is the most awesome thing that God has created for man. But doing it like having sex like a 9 to 5 job before you get married is wrong. Sex at all before you get married is wrong. So we're talking about when we say body count, we're talking about the amount of persons you have sex with before you get married. Now, when that is done, we have to remember that there is everything that happens to us physically is because of what is going on in the spirit world. Yeah. Now, the actual engagement of sexual act um, is what marriage is. So if you were to think of it like this, every person you have sex with is a person you marry. If you have sex with 100 women or 100 men, that means you would have had 100 wives or 100 husbands. So when you literally get married, that's 101. Imagine all their husband or all their wife are living in the same house. That is why a lot of marriages break up, because the conflict with all of these spirits, because it's a spiritual thing. So when all of these husbands clash in one house, we have problems. Yes, I see a comment that's saying that men were made to get married and have as much sex as possible. Of course, like, trust me, when I got married first, I thought that, you know, when election time, how the politicians give away stuff, that was like my kind of thinking. I got married so sex a giveaway. So
Oh
I
no.
began, yeah,
You
like
done messed up,
even
brother. You
two and
done
three
messed up.
times.
Hopefully
Yeah,
you make those
like
election promises. Don't make those promises you can't keep, Steve.
no, I'm saying when I got married first, I thought of it like that, like it was giving away. Like, yeah, so just take as much as you can. It was like I was in a flea market, just grab and go. And so, no matter what hour of the day it was, your boy Steve was there.
When you say like KFC,
And
ready to grab a like breast out anytime.
listen, finger licking good.
Mm.
And so, yes, that's when it's supposed to happen. During marriage is when it's supposed to happen. Before marriage, no. So you collecting bodies like your Straffy, you want to run Straffy and Barnes funeral home out of service. That's wrong. You're supposed to save yourself until you get married. Now, I saw I saw a comment that said, "You're 26. How can you tell us about sex?" Like, from a Christian point of view, we
How
are
can I tell
not
you about
supposed
sex?
to, we are not supposed to be having sex until we're married.
Uh-huh.
So that is how I'm answering the question for you, because it's not that I'm irritated, because everybody, we have our opinions, yeah. And so, um, just answering the question that, we're Christians and we're not supposed to have sex. And if anybody would be thinking, oh, he have to be an anti-man, or he have to this, or he have to that, well, listen, you are the wrong one. And in God's sight, you are the wrong one. And you're casting a self-righteous judgment on Andre because he's a virgin. And the Bible tells us to judge not. And when the Bible says to judge not, it's talking about the self-righteous judgment, like the scribes and the Pharisees. Do not self-righteously judge, because the same way you self-righteously judge is the same way others are going to self-righteously judge you in return. And
Steve,
so, yeah.
my response also is this. So how many people here have been hit by a car? Would I need to be hit by a car to tell you about being hit by a car? Or how many people here have almost drowned? Would I need to be on the water to tell you what it's like to drown? I
Mm.
have lived life. I have seen and I have understood and I have lived accordingly. I have the word of God. I have experiences that's been told to me and what I have seen. And I feel at a certain point in time I can speak about it. I can't tell you exactly how the inside of woman feels or all these other things, but I can give reasonable advice, or I can give reasonable perspectives because I feel that I'm giving a different perspective. Okay, then I'm speaking from my perspective. It's not that my perspective isn't valid. I'm not speaking from a prideful way of saying my perspective is the only perspective that's right or what is, but I'm trying to live according to what God said. And if I'm doing that, I think it's actually worth hearing me out when I'm saying this. And oh, let me see, Nathaniel Wim, that it looks like I don't love sex. No, I just hate sin. I would love to have sex. I would love to have sex right now. If I had a wife and she said, "Baby, I want something," I'm logging off and leaving you guys here. Of course, I can love sex. I can love something. I can hope towards it. I hope I have great sex multiple times. But all I'm saying is that I don't have to think, I'm not hating it. I don't despise it. I just would love to have it in the right context. It's like when you get something that is great, but at the wrong time. I just don't want to have it at the wrong time and to ruin it. Because from my perspective is I want to have sex at the proper time, because it's like this. I can't imagine not having good holistic sex. I'd rather wait on it being great than take a risk and teeth out something now that is not good for me. All right. No, I'm here in Antigua and Barbuda. I'm in Potters right now. New extension, Berlin's. That's where I'm at. So yes, as I'm saying, it's not
Listen,
that I dislike or I'm somehow like being gay or something. No, it's just that I rather have it in the right circumstance. I want to have sex with my wife or my woman inside of my house, in my property, where nobody can tell me nothing and nobody can judge me. I want to have sex with her. I want to put her to sleep. And I want to wake up next to her the next day and feel guiltless and without shame or anything else. All right? That's what I want to do. I want to have sex without guilt or without thinking of anything, and thinking that I've done well in the Lord's sight. I have done the ministry of marriage and I want to enjoy it that way. I want to have the sex that was intended by God in the most enjoyable circumstances possible. That's what I want. So I would rather avoid the sex that feel teething, like you try to run this way, that way. I don't want to think about anything, what people would say, what people do, because when it comes to my marriage, I can uphold that. And I rather have sex in that circumstance. That's what I'm pressing towards. I'm pressing towards that good stuff. I'm not just going to be out here playing recklessly. That's just what I got to say.
listen. The comment section. I've been listening to you. Yes, you're right. You just don't want to sin. Sin is the part that we're running from. But whatever else they're asking you, if you're living in Antigua, if you're living in America, if you're whatever the case is, whatever they want to ask you, listen, comment section is going crazy. But listen me up. If you never heard it before, as I said, when I got married in 2011. And it was like that day, the can that sex was closed up in was opened up. And you ever eat till you feel sick?
Yes, I remember I found something I really liked, and then afterwards I ate it like 4 or 5 times in one day, and then I woke up in around 9, 10 o'clock, and then I vomited all over the bathroom floor because I just had too much.
Trust me, when I got married, let's say within the first month, I I got sexually
These
sick.
people.
Listen,
I'm sorry. I'm
because
sorry. Okay, you know what? I think you guys are actually. This is my first time. I know what this is. I'm being trolled, and this is amazing. I love this.
I listen, I did say that tonight was going to be a different night. We've I I expected to do half hour with you, Andre, but we've gone over an hour. But I'm not gonna say that we're not gonna end tonight, but um, definitely we wow. We're giving another 10, up to 15 minutes, the most tonight. But guys, before we go any further, remember that tonight is sponsored by Calvin the Barber. He's the one who made me look so handsome tonight. Yeah, he's the barber who sponsors the singles ministry. So if you don't have a barber who you're dedicated to, then you can contact me and I will direct you to Calvin the Barber. And he is a young man, so he will give you the latest styles, whatever you want, what he can do it. Calvin the Barber, just link me after whenever you need, and I will direct you to him. And also, we have a WhatsApp group where we daily inspire each other. If you need to join the WhatsApp group, my number is 780-1220. Let me put that up on the screen. It is 268-780-1220. I'll be putting it up on the screen so that you can WhatsApp me, and you definitely we got to go through some screening with these people because trust me, wow, the comment section has been crazy tonight. And what we try to do is we try to cultivate and maintain godly relationships leading up to marriage so that our marriages can stay together and we would have less divorce and less single parenting. You see the single parenting issue with the people that in the comment section that believe that having sex before marriage is just a thing. The consequences, the consequences follow. They may not follow after your first try, your second try, maybe even your hundredth try, but somewhere along the line. So again, back to some of these comments because it's going crazy.
Keep on coming. Keep on coming.
Somebody wants to know if they can call. Anything you wanna talk about, you can message me, you can call me, WhatsApp. The number is there. I'll put it up ever so often so you can see. Um, because we have the WhatsApp group that's very interesting. Very, we link every day, and Andre is a part of it because he has his person and he wants to love his person the best way he can. So we learn from each other. There are other females in the group that would say, would encourage. These are the things that they would love to see. So when Andre tries things with his woman and she's flabbergasted, it's because it's coming from the singles ministries group. And that, Andre?
My name is André Warner. I don't endorse or condone this message whatsoever. At this point in time, you hear from my lawyers.
Yes, but definitely we well, these women cannot be calling a married man. Who's the married man here? There's no married man here. There is no married man here. Duh, 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 duh.
Hey,
Have
have
you
I?
guys? Wow, read your question, Andrew. This question is for you because the fact that I've been saying that I have already been married, I'm divorced. This question cannot be for me. So read your question and answer it aloud.
Hey, have either of you guys did anything sexual with a lady been delivered from temptation? Um, I have been put in situations where sex has been offered, actually, or I have met such situations, yes. Have I been delivered from temptation? Yes. Sometimes it's simple as turning and walking the other way or saying no and denying. I have had offers of I had a group of guys I used to hang with, keyword and used to. I remember one of the things they had offered me was because I don't know if they felt bad or something, I was a virgin, but they had offered to chip in money together and buy me one of the finest prostitutes in Antigua, which I was offer, of course, had to deny. I have had similar situation. Yeah, I've been delivered from temptation. There's some places that I would say God's kept me from. There's some people who I think that's I've just been genuinely kept from either meeting or being involved with because if I was, it could have led to something that I would say that was greater than what I could bear, which is why God would keep me from certain things.
Wow.
Uh I can stop. I can stop. I can stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had a clap back. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave this one alone.
You're being summoned. But anyways, as I was saying earlier, um, I am not I am not. Let me find the comment. I am not trying to embarrass anyone. I am not trying to insult anyone. But this here comment is very immature because if you would have been listening to me, I know Andre heard because he commented. When I got married, for the first month at least, I got sex sick because if it wasn't twice or thrice daily, maybe sometimes more. And again, God did what He had to do. And there was also another question that asked if any one of us would have gotten delivered from anything sexually. And let me say yes, because when my ex-wife moved out, and that phase of depression and all of that, bro, trust me, I I've always had race. Let me I'm gonna cut that off. So I met this young lady and she was living alone. She was living, paying her rent and everything. And I actually moved in with her because while I was married, I was paying rent. Yeah. So I gave up the house and I literally went back to my parents' house. And so I met this young lady because I was a bus driver, and met the young lady while I was driving bus. And we started talking, and I eventually moved in with her. And it was basically the most sinful time of my life because you know what white liver is. You've heard the term white liver. Andre.
Yes, I have. How will you get yourself into now, Steve?
And so that's what I'm saying. I got myself into that kind of predicament where I, you know, going through divorce in and out of court, moved in with this young lady, and she was, yeah, like she had white liver. And it took a friend of mine to ask me, Steve, what you do? You live with a whole woman, like you and a woman live together alone, not married. What are you doing? And he came for me at night, and I packed my stuff and I went. He brought me home, and that was God sending somebody my way to rescue me from all of that sinful lifestyle. So um, a lot of people wouldn't really see me like that, but thank God for delivering me. That was like 2017, 2018, thereabout. And, from since then, I've been abstaining. I've been able to control myself because that's one of the fruits of the spirit, yeah. Self-control. And if we are not able to control ourselves, then we're not going to make it to heaven because anything would trigger us. So we're gonna wrap up tonight. It's been a wonderful 1 hour and 13 minutes so far, and trust me, the comment section has never blown up like this. Thanks to Brother Andre for coming on and being interviewed on the Singles Ministry podcast. Look, it was a wonderful hour and 14 minutes, and I pray we could do this again sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
But next time, I know it would be bigger and better and greater because we're actually preparing the studio for in-house discussions. So being in person would be so much better. We have the space. It's just to get the new equipment in. And again, let me just say, for those of you who are new, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell at the bottom so that you get notified every time we're going live. And we do this every Monday at 8:30. We do this every Monday at 8:30. If there is something pressing that we can't make it, then we come back the following week. But Mondays at 8:30 is our time to be live, discuss everything pertaining to relationships and God, maintaining the relationships, cultivating the relationships, and understanding that marriage was made for man and woman, woman and man, not man and man, not woman and woman, but woman and man. Bible says male and female, he created them both for each other.
Yep.
So we thank you, Brother Andre, for being with us tonight. Remember the number for the singles ministry is 268-780-1220. You can hit me a WhatsApp message. You can call me. You can um, direct message me. If you want to be added to the WhatsApp group, just mention it, and we'll make sure it happens. So to everybody, I want to say good night, and brother Andre, God be with you.
All right, you have a great one.
And then.
Night, night.